Welcome to Capture the World with D. Interviews with companies and individuals to learn more about digitally capturing the built world. Video, drone, 3D tours, pictures, panoramas, and more. And now your host, a social influencer and community activist, Dee Johnson.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Capture the World with Dee. I'm your host, Dee Johnson. My guests today are the owners of Tosolini Productions, LLC, and New Interior Solutions, a creative studio and innovation lab focused on business-to-business storytelling and emerging and immersive media, and a digital visualization company. My two guests are icons in the world of capturing in 3D, and I'm sure they need no introduction. So without further ado, please help me welcome Paolo and Francesca Tosolini. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi Dee.
Thanks for joining me today. And we're joined here by Bella the cat. Say hi, Bella. All right. So thank you both for joining me. I know that you both are very well known in the community. But let's start with Francesca. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your company?
Yes. So my company is called New Interior Solutions. And it's a pretty new company, but it's kind of old at the same time because I used to be a home stager for 13 years before my company had a different name. And then I decided that it was time for me to do, for a change. And I decided to do exactly the same things as before, which is home staging, home decorating, but virtually. So that's why, I just thought that it was a good time to start this business offering new interior solutions because they are completely different from what I was doing before, but at the same time, the same. Mm-hmm. So my business is mainly aimed to real estate, but also interior design. So what I do is I help my clients visualize their home projects. And that could be virtual staging, virtual remodeling, or, new buildings from blueprints, floor plans. And so I do everything virtually. Sometimes I use Matterport. And for this reason also, sometimes what I do kind of overlaps with what Paolo does, because we are, both in the same virtual world. But pretty much with different goals. But so I do a variety of things. My passion is virtual staging, of course. And what is nice about that is that I am able to apply the tricks that I was using in real homes, but on, pictures, basically, because what happens is that the client sends me a picture and I analyze it and I stage it as if it was a real home.
Mm-hmm. So you're talking virtual staging, is that mainly for selling homes?
Yes, and that's why I work with realtors, mm-hmm. But I also work with builders. So their goal is the same. They still want to see their properties, but many times these properties haven't been built yet. So they need like an image to show their clients of how it's going to be.
Yeah. So can you do remodeling too? Like if I come to you and say, I want to remodel my home, but I need to see what it looks like because I'm a visual person.
Yeah. So I do that too. Okay. Yes.
So
I do that.
You're artistic and then you use technology. So you marry the two, which is great.
Yes.
Perfect.
And if you want, I can share my screen and quickly show you, because probably, since my job is very visual, I think it's just easier for me to show you what I do. So let me do it now. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I will just start, from my website, which I use just because there are so many pictures and images that I think is just the best way to show you what I do. As I said, I do interior renders, and here quickly to, I can show you that what I do is I start from both floor plans like elevations and, architectural drawings, but also from photos. So I don't need the specifics all the time. I try to work with what I see. Here, for example, we have a photo, a 2D photo, and we were able to replicate the same but remodeled. And also here. So, and this is pretty nice because sometimes my clients don't have all the information, but I can still work with what they have. So then I do exterior renders, and again, I can start from a photo, like in this case, from elevation drawings, like in these other cases. And of course, virtual staging, I think everybody knows pretty much what virtual staging is nowadays, but you start with a photo of an empty room and you virtually stage it, you virtually place the furniture in it. Same thing with virtual furniture replacement. You start with a photo with updated old furniture, and you just replace them with new ones. 360 virtual staging, which can be used also for Matterport tours, 360 virtual remodelings, and here I have an example. See, like in this is all virtual. I mean, the scenery is real, but what you see is completely digital. But as I said, my passion is virtual staging because that's what I used to do. And lately, I've been using the program by Captured, which is a company in sorry, it's
New Zealand or Australia, one of those.
In Australia, yeah, exactly. Now there you go. My connection is a little slow, but so this is a Matterport tour. The furniture that you see are digital. What I like about Capture is that with a click of a mouse, you can remove the furniture and you can see the place as it is, without anything. But what I did lately, because as like Paolo, I like to experiment, is I try to use their new animation tool to apply to interior design. And this is a piece of furniture that my team and I made. As you can see, it's a piece of furniture that can turn from a desk to a bed. And also this little goldfish here is animated. And this is just, another tool to show how you can use a room in two different ways. Like in this case, it could be an office or it could be a guest room. And since, virtual staging or let's say home staging is my specialty, what I did also lately, actually last year, at the end of the year, I decided to create a tutorial with Captured. And so this is another Matterport tour. And here I decided to use the features that Capture offers, which is audio. See here the little symbol on the floor, video, and also the tags to explain how you can stage a room. And this is useful because, with Captured, you can do it yourself. So for example, if you click here, you can see the same room, but with the furniture placed in a different way. So there you go. See, before the couch was right here, but it's not the right way to do it because you block the way to the office. So here I show you, hey, since the cable is on this wall, place the furniture in this way because logically speaking is just the right thing to do. And then here's the same tour. As you can see, you can also add videos, you can add audio. So it's a very nice thing to use when you are selling a house or even renting a house. I mean, you don't have to necessarily sell it, but it's a very, nice way to show how you can furnish a space.
Yep. So you can help people like me who have no clue where to put their furniture without having to come to my house.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's so nice because I don't have to lift, real furniture anymore. I can do it, just with a click of a mouse. That's super, super useful.
That's very cool. All right. So you are based in the Seattle area, correct?
Yes, I'm based in Seattle, but right now, for example, I'm in Italy, so I travel back and forth pretty often during the year. But yeah, my is in Seattle, Washington. Yes.
Okay. So if anybody out there is looking for help with staging, I think the really cool part is the remodeling, because I've built homes and it's like, what is it going to look like? And it would have been nice to be able to see that. So yeah, contact Francesca. So,
Thank you. Yes.
all right. So Paolo, let's move on to you. Um, you may as well
Okay,
introduce yourself in case there's somebody out there who's not met you or
of course.
knows of you.
So Paolo Tosolini here, based in Seattle, husband of Francesca, and I run a creative studio for the last, I've been running for the last 8 years, and it's focused on business storytelling using emerging technologies. Actually, let me share my screen so I can show you a couple of examples of what we do. Can you see it?
Yes.
So this is just a 3-minute deck about what our activity is. So essentially, I run this agency, and we focus on creating presentations for organizations that need to explain with using new technologies what are their services and their products that they're selling. There are three main areas of business for us. It's the design and creation of touch screen experiences, mostly for events, trade shows, lobbies, executive briefing centers, and so on. Of course, we Matterport, 3D virtual tours. We acquired our Matterport in 2015 and has been a beautiful ride since then. And then we expanded into virtual and augmented reality. So just to give you a quick overview here. So we mostly work with technology companies. So technology companies, we like them because they are demanding at the same time, but they are also, they love experimentation. And they push us to be at the forefront of technology because we need to surprise them with new ideas. So that's why we enjoy working with them. So some examples of activations we have done for Deloitte, for a pre-Oscars party with actors there, different kind of events. So this is probably what it's more pertinent to this call is like what do we do with 3D tours? So we have scanned all sorts of places. At one point, I brought the Matterport with me in all my travels to Italy, France, and China, and so on. And there was always something new to scan. But we also experimented with GeoCV when it was still a product out there available. And with 360 media, creating also content for Google Street. So Matterport, in my opinion, is a wonderful platform. But what do we do with Matterport beyond the virtual tour? So this is what we ask ourselves, and there is an opportunity to expand also taking the content out there and maybe meshing it up with other technologies. And I'm going to talk about this concept of prototyping and mashups. Once you scan a location, you can extract the 3D model, and then you can import it in other tools. For example, in software like Unity. And then in Unity, then you can expand your creativity by creating 3D experiences that we call them mashups, because we combine together different technologies in a way that sometimes hasn't been thought before or in original ways. So I'm going to actually give you a couple of examples of mashups. By the way, the prototyping activity is something that is part of our marketing strategy. We believe that if as a technology agency, we need to constantly be on top of the new tools, on the new trends.
Yeah.
And the best way to do it is to actually create, use these new technologies, create examples, and just publish them out there for everybody to enjoy and to share the knowledge about them. So what you will see on our YouTube channel is 100 plus demos, videos of either projects or prototypes that we built with all sorts of mashups. So let me give you an example of one of those. So this actually, I did this in a few years back, and it's a mashup, which means a combination of multiple technologies. Here is a augmented reality, Matterport, and 360 photography, all coming together into a demo of what a real estate ad of the future might look like. Imagine if you hold your phone, you want to see a listing, and rather than just browsing it through on your phone like a web page, you experience an AR app. And then essentially everything that you're seeing here is through the camera, and you can you have the floor plan, you can tap on the spheres, and then you can preview the location. Let me show you another.
This is what you're famous for, these mashups.
Yeah, the mashup is it's almost a philosophy. To me, the prototyping is a philosophy of life, because it pushes you to always try a new road, a new way of thinking, and because you don't know where you may end up. You may end up doing something that is completely useless. So it is becoming an academic exercise of learning a new tool. However, you don't know if you never know if you might inspire somebody else to go down a path and maybe monetize it. And I'm happy to share everything that we're doing. And in fact, all of these prototypes, and we also explain them how we do this in our descriptions here. So here's an example of how we combined Matterport 3D models for accessibility. Imagine if you're somebody who wants to work on a 3D model or view it, but you have accessibility issues. So this is a research we have done, and using Spark AR as a development tool, which is a free platform by Facebook, where you can use facial gestures like blinking or moving your head, and then the phone, the application, recognize your gesture, and it will translate them into an action on the 3D model. So for example, here you can blink and you change the different room. Again, this is a room, it's an OBJ file from Matterport. So imagine you take this Matterport and then you connect it through movement on your head, and then when you smile, you change color. So all of these are experimentations about what can be done, right? Is it useful? Maybe for somebody could be extremely useful. Who knows?
Sure.
But in the meantime, we wanted to experiment. We wanted to try it. So this is during COVID. We thought that it would be interesting to explore the use of virtual venues, and we created this prototype of an expo hall. People couldn't go to events. However, we rendered an event space, and then we created the fake booths, like imaginary booths, where you can visit and you can just launch all sorts of media. This is, again, another mashup. We also have some Matterport in there. But again, this is just to offer the idea of the possibilities. could this be something that can scale? Who knows? It's all about experimentation, and even if a prototype doesn't necessarily lead this, at least based on our experience, doesn't lead to immediate monetization down the road, it's part of your toolbox to show to a potential client.
Wow, that's amazing.
Well, we have a lot of well, let me show you some other. So again, I have many many examples here. So this is another example of how we use a software called Twin Motion to create an environment, and then we add people, and then we change the season. This is all done, of course, digitally. And then we wanted to blend here the Twin Motion capabilities, which is this architectural visualization, with a virtual tour that has been virtually staged. So like mashing up, like combining different technologies together to show how they can work together.
Amazing.
Well, there are so many possibilities, and that's why we love this field, because it's a never ending. Or something that we really like is digital signage. Digital signage, interactive signage, is about touch screens that can lead to multimedia experiences. But what happens if you want to take that experience out of the screen and take it into the a virtual space? So here's a combination of augmented reality, a Matterport model, and that is being triggered by an experience on a touch screen. So you walk to a booth, you want to see a kitchen, and then it triggers this 3D model that you can view through your phone.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's and of course we can go. Sometimes we go wild about what can we do with for tourism. So for example, this is an example of an AR app that is being triggered by a tracker, like the floor plan here of a cruise line, and you can browse. You can take an inside view of the ship. Anyway, if you're interested in mashups, I think you will find many of those on my YouTube. However, if you want to try on your phone, if you want to have one place where you want to actually have them all, I invite you to scan this QR code. So I had so many of these videos and explanations that I decided to create a mobile app that lists them all. So if you scan the QR code with your phone here, you will launch an app that has 50 plus listings of mashups with video descriptions, and then you can browse them all. Some of them are Matterport related, some others are 360 virtual staging, thanks to Francesca, who provided me some content. So there is a lot of opportunities here to experiment.
Cool. Well, we'll put that QR code in the
Of course, I'll send it to you.
Okay. Wow. So that's like, do you like lay in bed at night and dream up things? How do you
so we
come
always
up
have
with these ideas?
it's a good point. So actually, I have a whole whiteboard of tools, ideas, and I prioritize them by low priority, medium. Of course, the real projects are the high priority. But during downtimes, I look at the whiteboard and I say, okay, I heard about this new tool. And to me, it's important to dedicate at least 5 minutes or 10 minutes to every new tool to learn about what's going on. Sometimes this new tool has potential, or I perceive that has potential. So it moves into another bucket of I want to study that tool for at least an hour. Or sometimes it makes me so excited that I want to purchase a Udemy course and I spend maybe 5 or 10 hours on it to learn it. If that tool graduates then as a tool that I could monetize it, then all the better. And this is the case for Matterport, for software like Intuiface, which is what I use for designing these touchscreen solutions. I'm a big fan of the no-code movement. I think we don't need always to be coders to do a lot of cool stuff. So this no-code movement has a lot of tools that allow you to design, create platforms, web, and so on. And I love to study them and meshing them up together and come up with new ideas and share back with the community, of course.
Does he do this in the kitchen too? Does he put like all these different foods in a blender and then?
Never.
So
that was my dream. No, never.
So this accessibility mashup that you did is very interesting, because I had a lot of people who came to me while I'm at Matterport, like universities who have mandates that certain things have to be accessible.
Interesting. Okay, good.
So that's a good use of that, right?
Yes.
And it was a frequently requested feature.
Interesting. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. So if you're looking for that, contact Paolo.
Okay.
And I'll put your contact information in the description.
Please. Always happy to answer questions.
Yeah. So wow, that's exciting, and it's like you're thinking outside the box, and it takes a very clever brain to do what you do. So.
Well, it's to me. Research is a way of life. So ask Francesca, every time we go to some place, I try to take a different road. And sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower, and she yells at me. But the idea is if we don't try something new, we will never know what's the new opportunity.
Sure.
And that translates into experimenting with tools, methodologies. And I think it's key to, once we learn a process, to share it back, because if we stop sharing, we stop learning from others. And that's why I always admire you, Dee, when we were working at Matterport. You were just creating tutorials and said, hey, here is a better way to do it, and we learn from each other, right? So
yes, but what you're doing is sort of the next step. So you have to have another level of intelligence to do what you do, but it's good that you're doing that, because you're doing all the work and then helping other people. So we don't all have to do what you did, right?
No. I have to say that sometimes it's frustrating to do what I'm doing, because I expect the world to be ready for some of these new ideas, but it's not the case. So right now, for example, so 4 years ago, we experimented with infographics in 360. It's like rather than having a flat infographics, let's create a photo bubble. We thought that the world was ready, our clients were ready, and it didn't happen for 3 years. And then during COVID, we start getting requests, we need to do a story about our products in 360. By the way, infographics are... And we said, oh my gosh, it was 3 years later.
See, you're ahead of the world, though. See, that's why you're smart, because you're ahead of everybody.
From the monetization perspective, being too ahead is not the best. But so the right medium is somewhere there. But I prefer to be ahead than on too late.
You sound like a PhD type of person who would do well in some university where they're coming up with these crazy new ideas.
You're giving me an idea here. Okay, maybe I should.
Please no. Please don't.
Okay, I'll keep my mouth shut, Francesca. Sorry. Well, you two are both totally exciting. I'm honored that you took the time to be here with me. Paolo, I've known you for a while, and you're so well respected in the community. So thank you for taking the time to join me today.
Thank you, Dee, for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure. Thank
Yes.
you.
And then have fun in Italy, Francesca.
Thank you. I'll do my best.
And stay safe, both of you. And I will put all the information for both companies in the description of this YouTube video. So definitely reach out. They're both very warm and welcoming if you have any questions. All right.
Thank you, Dee.
Thank you both. And everybody
Bye.
stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.